Jesus Christ? Just who the hell do you think you are? And what about me also? To tell you the truth, you're just like me. We're a reflection of each other, but we go by different names. I've told you that I'm Mr. Jesus 2.3, but in reality you may not believe me. I'm also Jesus Christ, virtually speaking of course, and I'm the master of my own domain. But to tell you the truth, you may not understand exactly what that means. I'm not trying to be mean with the things that I say, but somebody's got to do it anyway. There are those of you who believe that a man is God, but that guy disappeared many years ago. I'm not going to tell you that he died on the cross, because in reality I wasn't there. But the truth is that he's not here at this moment in space and time, and that's good enough for me. There's a brown man and brown woman who wrote in some books that Jesus 1.0 lived out his life in the south of France, and a descendant will eventually come forward. The truth is that I may be that man, and it's a fact that I'm a French citizen also. I've been circumcised, baptized twice, and ordained a priest in these latter days. But in reality, I've lived most of my life as an agnostic man, just going with the flow. There was a moment about 15 years ago when I had some time to kill. I was laid off from my job at Keebler back then, and was hanging out at home. I wasn't searching for anything, and that's no lie, but it found me just the same. This it that I'm talking about is the truth, my friends, regardless what you believe. Now Sid was the man who became Buddha, if you didn't know, and he was sitting under a tree when he began to see the light. But he took flight before that moment arrived, and left the wife that he had. I'm glad to tell you I haven't done such a thing, and my wife is the love of my life. Nevertheless, the same thing happened to me, but I wasn't under a tree. Of that you can be sure of. They say he sat there for about a week, and that's about how long it took for me also. At the time of that event, I didn't know a lot about Buddha, but I did know something about Jesus 1.0. That's the man many know as Christ, a Greek word that means the chosen one. Do you think I've been chosen for this task I've undertaken before God takes me away? Anyway, I told my wife, and my mother too, that I knew what Jesus did also. Wouldn't you know they both responded the same way, with disbelief and confusion too? But in reality I understood why. They both believed the man was a god and he'd return to save the day. That's when I decided that I'd better take the advice of those who say silence is golden. I didn't repeat that statement for many a year, but I'll tell you what I did do back then. I made a video that I sent to the networks, explaining what I had to say. What I said is that we're all in this together, my friends, even though you may think something else. Some believe time is a never-ending cycle, while others believe it has a beginning and end. For some, reincarnation explains what happens when we die, while others think we'll spend eternity in heaven or hell, depending on what you believe. But then again, there are some who don't believe in any of that. Of that you can be sure of. The surahs of the Noble Quran can help you to understand, if you put your mind to it, my friends. It's all about the different mindsets of man, and what it takes to find your peace of mind. That's what that guy Buddha taught also, but he occupied a different place in space and time. Muhammad was the guy who was inspired by an angel, who went by the name of Gabriel. Peace be upon both of those men, and peace be with Jesus 1.02. I was nurtured in the womb of Gabrielle, and delivered to tell you the truth also. Call it my dumb luck if it makes you happy, or synchronicity if it makes you feel better. But in my mind there's a reason for it all that I simply call the will of God. I didn't choose my mother, you know, or the country she was raised in long ago. I may have chosen Mary as the godmother in my life, but it was long before I saw the light. I don't imagine a world that's never been, and I didn't dream all of this up either. I've got proof for all that I've been telling you all, and that's no lie, my friends. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews are the ones who've labeled me Mr. Jesus 2.3. And they've been pushing the envelope with the God of Abraham, in the hope for a little change. I'm just a man who knows my reason for being here now, and I thank Allah for giving me life. The deity that goes by many names is the divine reality that transcends both space and time. God is the creator of the seen and unseen also, that nothing can compare to. Stephen has been hawking nothing as his creator, but there are scientists and theologians who don't believe him. In my mind, God is reason, don't you know? And in Stephen's mind, the reason is nothing. In reality, there's no difference between the two, and the truth is that neither is a man. Stephen claims all is following a plan, and he calls it the laws of physics. Well, I say the same damn thing also. To make it simple, I call it the will of God. Either way you see it, you should try to understand this truth, that no man can change the future, regardless what you hope for. In reality, if it hasn't happened yet, you can't change what you don't know. And the past can't be changed either, but you can believe all sorts of things about it. People use words and images to manipulate your mind as they hope for a little change of their own. While many chase profits of dollars and cents, some try to make sense of the profits of God. And that's no lie at all. But Buddha, Muhammad, and Jesus 1.0 also knew just what the truth is. They all knew what in reality it takes to find your peace of mind before you rest in peace. The truth that sets you free isn't about believing in them, and I'm not here to save your butt. But knowledge is the key to understanding me, and it takes responsibility to set yourself free. Take responsibility for all that you think and everything you do. There's no secret to it at all. One takes place within the mind, and your actions take place in time. Admit that there'll come a time when you can't do either at all, and you may begin to understand what the truth is. Take some time to think it through, and then reflect on what's going on, if you hope for the change to overcome you also and find your peace of mind. I can't guarantee you'll be as happy as me, and you may actually die trying before you get there. But that's the destiny for every human being, as we try to be all we can be. You can't blame me, I didn't make any of the rules. And don't blame others for what's your own damn fault if you want to find your own peace of mind. Now that I've given you a piece of my mind, and a little food for thought also, can you recognize the signs? Do you know what time it is now? If you'd like to discover more about the truth and the reality that we all share, you could contact my cousin who's a big shot at the network, where Stephen was hawking his nothing. Peace be with those of you who are searching for the truth. May you find what your heart desires, regardless what you choose to do. For the rest of you, and your loved ones too, may you live long and prosper also. With an everlasting love, now and forever always. Virtually yours, Jesus Christ.